I have a very strange story to bring to you today, in addition to some more updates on the situation. Do you remember Leonard Boff? He's the liberation theologian invited to the Vatican on the day Cardia Amazonia was released. That document, which celebrated liberation theology and the institution of the technocratic state, all wrapped up in the bad poetry of radical liberation theologians. Yes, that document. Anyway, Boff is one of the founders of liberation theology, and has been photographed in days gone past with then Father Bergoglio. In other words, he's an authority on virtually nothing, but has very heterodox opinions on many things. And boy, does he have an opinion on the things going on in the world today. So sit back and enjoy this descent into madness. But first, I wanted to thank the patrons of this channel for their continued support. It really does enable the work of this channel to continue. If you want to join the supporters of this channel, you can do so through Patreon or Subscribestar for as little as $1 per month, or through the mail or Subscribestar for a single donation. It really does help this channel keep going, and please support the other content creators you like as well. Thanks. Back to the news. Okay, that aside, let's dive into this. I have a short piece from Gloria TV I'll read to you in full. Headline: What's going on? Is punishment. From Pachamama. You may have noticed that I had to change a word there. I tried making a video on the topic and was hammered instantly for my efforts, which I hope dispels the rumor that everyone was given a blank check to cover it. Anyway, on to the story. Quote, Leonardo Boff, 81, believes that the things going on right now are a retaliation from Gaia for the insults we inflict upon her. For Boff, a lapsed priest and hero of communist liberation theology, it's not accidental that this started in the place where pollution is greatest. Through it, the Great Mother, Gaia, gives us signs that she's sick. Boff replaces God with Gaia, explaining that the earth wants a different attitude towards her. We should not forget that the earth herself feels, thinks, loves, worships, and heals. End quote. Whew, lad, there you have it. This preacher of heterodoxy was given direct access to Francis and has a long history working with him. For those not in the know, liberation theology was all but formally condemned by the Vatican's Congregation for the Doctrine of the Faith in the 1980s by then Cardinal Ratzinger. At that time, one of the other leading figures in that movement had to basically recant the Gaia worship and embrace of Marxism in order to avoid formal excommunication. Meanwhile, Boff is a former Catholic priest who now makes the circuit promoting radical environmentalism and earth worship in his books and speeches, and is in no way Catholic anymore, save by his baptism. Pray for Leonardo Boff's return to the faith. But I can see why he'd think that. He probably thinks the miracles of Lourdes are the work of Gaia and her demonic visage Pachamama. Lourdes has been completely closed during this situation, which should strike some as weirdly ironic, almost as if the incredible graces of that holy place have been temporarily withdrawn as a warning from God. I can see why Boff and others would say that this is all sort of chastisement, but I think practicing or placing it at the feet of Gaia is sort of compounding the problem and not an effective way of getting people to stop offending God. But again, what do I know? I mean, this guy gets direct access to Francis, and his ideas are on full display in Laudato Si and Cardia Amazonia. At this point, it is impossible to keep up with all the places in the U.S. and abroad where the Mass has been formally suppressed, at least publicly. I have this image for you, which, by the time you see this, is also probably outdated. But in short, it shows that in virtually the entire United States, there are no public Masses being offered. Emphasis on the word public. Plenty of private Masses are being said, however. I do wish that whoever made it would differentiate between where the Mass was suppressed alone and where even the sacrament of penance was suppressed as well. These closures are not limited to the U.S. either. European countries are doing the same, and that's not news to anyone at this point, but South American bishops have started doing the same as well. And as the situation unfolds in that part of the world, we can expect to see there what we've seen in the U.S. and Europe. To paraphrase a Vatican News article on this, nourish your prayer life from home, and if you can, participate in the Mass online. Such a strange time we live in. If you want to know what some are calling Francis's virtual parish and what it looks like, here's a story from the once mighty but now James Martin-esque tablet, which has the story for us. Quote, Since March 9th, the Holy Father has been live streaming his daily Mass at the Santa Marta residence in the Vatican. which previously had always been celebrated in private, with a synopsis published by the Vatican Media Services. In addition, the pontiff's weekend masses are also being live-streamed. Previously, his weekend liturgies were only publicized if they were open to the general public. As of March 16th, the papal mass was attracting a live audience of about 6,000 people, the size of a large parish. Most were watching on Facebook and mostly in the Italian original, which is unsurprising given the 7 a.m. start time in Rome, which right now works out to be 2 a.m. on the east coast of the United States. There were, however, a hearty band of more than 900 English speakers, following the live translation provided by the Vatican on Facebook and YouTube. Joining Pope Francis each morning is a small cast of regulars, made up of members of his own household. In effect, the pontiff is trapped at home with his own family just like everyone else in Italy, where the total number of cases as of Monday evening was 24,747. End quote. Now, those are papal masses, which are obviously said in the Novus Ordo form. If you want to participate in the traditional Latin Mass from home during this time, I do recommend checking out the YouTube channel Holy Faith Media, where numerous traditional masses are streamed. Conversely, I've seen the SSPX offering a streaming mass online as well, so you can take your pick of options. Yesterday, I spoke about the requirements of making an act of spiritual communion, so go check that short video out. I can tell you, though, that you should take the situation seriously, even if it's only because the most vulnerable need you to take care on their behalf, so please do take the situation seriously. I'll end this video on a more serious note. I know it's been a mishmash of topics today, but it is what it is. As you've probably heard by now, Alexander Schugel, the young Austrian man who threw the idols of the demonic Pachamama into the Tiber River, has been hospitalized. Another victim of what is going on right now. He needs your prayers, as do all those who are dealing with this situation personally. And please remember to keep all those workers who are trying to address this problem firsthand in your prayers as well. Certain industries did not get a mandatory period of home seclusion. In fact, they got quite the opposite. And those who are working in these critical fields need your prayers right now. For now, it suffices to say that you and I need to pray for the church and pray for all those people who do not have access to even the sacrament of penance. For to fall into a state of mortal sin in these days will be catastrophic for many people. So please, pray for your fellow Catholics, and also pray for those who had been planning on being formally entered into the church this Easter, but now may not be able to enter until an unspecified time later this spring or summer. Thanks for listening and for your continued support. Ave Maria.